Hey, welcome to Half the Battle. Well, as promised, today we're taking a look at a good Deke cartoon episode.
And yep, it is an officer and a Viperman. It's quite appropriate since we've got this whole Cobra Convergence month going on, but my main entry will be next week. Now, since I said this was a good episode, does that mean I won't have anything to complain about?
You guys have seen this show before, right? Let's get started.
We begin in a Cobra temple. Why is it always temples with the bad guys? Holy crap, it's actually a G.I.Joe base! So what now, everybody is just using temples as their base of operations? Pathfinder, Ambush, and Topside are complaining they got, well, ambushed and beaten by Cobra, in a scene we didn't get to see.
God forbid they ever show Cobra winning.
They figure they have a leak, so the three of them will infiltrate Cobra to find out if there's a spy among them.
Joining Cobra is surprisingly easy.
Cobra Commander wants you.
There's only one way to find out.
You men have just made the smartest decision of your lives.
A ruthless terrorist organization can just have an open recruiting office in a major city, apparently.
Yeah, sure, that's how that works.
Also, it appears that Cobra doesn't believe in background checks because the Joes get taken without any questions asked whatsoever. You know, I bet they spent hours just forging documents and getting their cover story straight, only to realize they could have probably shown up still in their G.I.Joe uniforms, and they would have still been fine.
Howdy. My name's Hubert Oswald, and I'm gonna be the best dang Viper on this here truck.
Hubert Oswald will be playing the part of Country Bumpkin this episode.
They get the Viper Academy, yes, it's really called that, and are greeted by...
Welcome to Viper Academy, you fine young panty wastes.
He's wearing a drill sergeant's hat. That's so cute. Anyway, a first part of training is climbing a rock, which Ambush excels at.
Where'd everybody go?
You did well, recruit, but next time if someone falls off the cliff, be sure it was because you pushed him. That's exactly what I mean! Keep up the good work!
This is a part I really like. Cobra encourages you to be as much of an a-hole as possible. It fits nicely.
Up next is swimming, with Topside obviously, and electric eels for added fun.
I've got a better idea. Enjoy your swim. Now that, recruits, is how it's done.
I'm loving this.
The last exercise is a good old-fashioned long-distance run. Destro singles out Pathfinder and Goober McBumpkin for talking, assuming they're cheating because they're not tired.
Just as I thought. These two aren't exhausted at all. In fact, they seem to have plenty of time to chew the fat, which must mean that Mr. Green and Mr. Oswald here are cheating. I like that in a man.
After that, we go straight to graduating and find out why Hubert likes Cobra so much.
But Cobra Commander says so right here in his autobiography, in chapters 1, 2, and 3.
That's my point. A real hero wouldn't write a book and tell you that he was a hero.
This is a universe where a wanted terrorist can have an autobiography out. Excuse me for a second. There, now I think I'm prepared for the stupidity of this episode.
Cadets Green, Brown, and Black, please come up here and join me.
I see we're going with the Reservoir Dogs route of coming up with fake names.
To steal a new top-secret attack vehicle, the Battle Axe.
Battle Axe? I'm not familiar with...
Hey, that's the mobile command center. Granted, it's a crappy distorted version of it, but it's still unmistakable. This is weird. I mean, usually the cartoon models are pretty accurate to the toys. Maybe they didn't want to get sued by George Lucas since the MCC does look so much like a sandcrawler. Anyway, the three Joes come up with a strategy to beat their own team, while playing with G.I. Joe toys, I might add.
Real subtle advertising there, guys.
I can't even specifically blame Deke here, since the Sunbow series did this too. Cobra's attack on the Joe facility is successful thanks to the strategy of our three heroes. Yeah, one of the few times Cobra wins a battle, and it's thanks to the Joes. Yeah, they couldn't warn their own team because they couldn't be sure if Hawk himself wasn't the leak.
Even in the simple D cartoon, his troops can be certain that Hawk isn't a douche.
By the way, speaking of Hawk, he's in his jetpack uniform the entire episode, even though he doesn't use his freaking jetpack. But they've got a toy to sell, I guess. Anyway, they capture the Joes as well as the mobile battle axe command thingamajig.
I won't, but they will. That's why these new recruits joined Cobra in the first place. Vipers brown, black, and green. Your training mission has been an unqualified success.
And here's that famous Deke quality again, as the top of Topside's head is missing. Ouch! Oh, and sometime off screen, the undercover Joes got promoted to lieutenants.
Lieutenant Green! Lieutenant Green!
I mean, we do see them get medals, but not promoted. They now have gained the commander's trust, so he lets them in on the secret.
Cockroaches?
Yes, but not just any cockroaches. These are electronic bugs. These bugs have been programmed to home in on Mrs. Meadows' chocolate chip cookies and transmit any and all conversations. And do you know who eats Mrs. Meadows' cookies during all his secret meetings? General Hawk.
Okay, I have to admit, that's kinda clever, using literal bugs to bug Hawk. Hell, it was a plot point in the 4th Harry Potter book where a gutter journalist could change into a beetle.
You know, if it turns out that J.K. Rowling got her ideas from the Deke G.I. Joe cartoon, I think I'm gonna burn all my books.
Cobra Commander wants to interrogate the Joes since they can't get the Mobile Command Center battle axe started.
Sergeant Slaughter, ID number 199-20017.
Under the terms of the Geneva Convention...
Never heard of it.
That's hilarious, considering how many times the Joes themselves have broken the Geneva Convention.
Remember when they planted explosives on ambulances to take out Cobra attackers? I sure as hell do. Also, please note that Hawk, a prisoner, has a chest full of freaking grenades. Just deviate from that toy design a little bit, guys. It wouldn't kill you and would actually make some goddamn sense here. The Joes get a lucky break as they're left alone with each other, so they can have a little powwow.
Well, I've already booby-trapped the battle axe, and the general's come up with an escape plan I know you'll really enjoy.
Does it involve his grenades? No, I'm never letting that go.
Now for a little bit that really pisses me off.
This is your fault, you fool!
But, Commander...
But alas, we'll have to come back to this later. The undercover Joes pretend they got beaten up by Hawk and Slaughter. Well, I assume they're pretending, but with douche Hawk and professional wrestler Slaughter, you never know. Anyway, now that they know about the bugs, they feed Cobra fake news to lure them into an ambush.
What do you mean you don't know? It's your job to know. What am I paying you for?
You're not paying me.
Once again, we'll come back to this later.
With the commander and Destro gone, the ruse is over and the trio rescue the Joes that were still prisoners. Well, I say Joes, in the battle they were, but now they've transformed into generic purple helmeted cannon fodder.
Oh, Deke, never change.
Our bumpkin gets a nasty surprise, but seems to handle it well.
Yo, Joe!
It is frighteningly easy to go from terrorist to hero in the G.I. Joe universe.
And I finally figured out that if I want to be a real American hero, I'd better get with the right program. Well,
What do you say to that? Welcome to G.I. Joe?
No, you say you'll get a fair trial and then be locked away for 20 years.
With that, Cobra walks right into the trap laid out by Hawk.
Of course you know.
That this is all my fault. What?
I said we'll get to that.
Yo, Joe!
Yo, Joe!
The Joes do a nice pincer move, and the truth finally dawns for Cobra Commander.
No! My 3 best recruits are G.I. Joes?
Well, they were the only competent troops he ever had, so he really should have seen that coming. So, after the battle, one that looks pretty damn good by the way, especially for Deke, the Joes win and the Cobra leadership gets away, as they are wont to do. And our episode ends with the former Al-Qaeda guy being welcomed to the Joes.
If you give me a chance in G.I. Joe, I'll do my best to put those snakes out of business.
I've got the strangest feeling you're gonna be the best recruit G.I. Joe ever had.
Yeah, this character never shows up again.
Still, the easiest way to join the Joes seems to be to work for Cobra first. This guy, Scoop, Mercer, that one Night Raven pilot, it's almost like their slogan is G.I. Joe, traitors welcome. And that was An Officer and a Viperman.
And it was pretty great.
The story was entertaining, engaging, and it was a fun look at Cobra's recruitment process. Sure, there were plenty of nits to pick, and there was the usual Deke incompetence, but by this point having to go, "Oh, Deke," is pretty much par for the course. And there are no major complaints.
Except for one thing. Yeah, remember I said we'd get back to something?
Destro! This is all your fault!
I really didn't like this running gag. Since the Deke cartoon was aimed at younger children, you'd get running jokes like this, and that's fine. But it shouldn't have been Destro as the fall guy. Destro never ever took any crap from Cobra Commander, even going so far as to take over Cobra himself on several occasions. It's completely out of character for him to take the Commander's abuse like this. They could have just used another guy, like Metalhead, who was the comic relief in this series, instead of pulling this crap on Destro.
There's just one more thing. Something that's a missed opportunity more than anything else.
Ambush was made a rock viper, a climbing expert, while it would have made far more sense for him to be a range viper. In fact, the episode that came out right before this has him going up against a range viper that happened to be a childhood friend of his. And one of the things to take away from that was how similar they were. Hell, they could have combined both stories here. Have Evie, his friend, show up here as a Cobra recruit, and they reconnect. Maybe there's even some romance. It would have meant the title of the episode would have been more on topic too. Yeah, the title refers to the movie An Officer and a Gentleman, which, yes, was about a guy going to an academy to become an officer, but it was also a love story. All I'm saying is, this episode could have gone in a whole different direction.
You know, I tried doing that once, going to a girl's workplace and lifting her up in my arms. Unfortunately, she was a surgeon, and it was during an operation. So now I'm not allowed into the local hospital anymore. I'm not sure what the big deal was. I mean, the guy on the table survived, and really, nobody really needs both their testicles. What was I saying again? Oh yeah, so that's the story about how I met your mother. She was the arresting officer.
Anyway, in conclusion, this was an awesome episode I can recommend, as long as you can get past what a spineless lackey they made Destro.
See you next time, everybody, and hey, why not like, share, and subscribe if that's your thing.